life in the river, and how the river became my teacher and a classroom in which to teach. Actually, most of my teaching and learning has not taken place in classrooms, nor has it been called education, but instead art and community transformation. The story of Los Angeles, where I was born, like many great cities, begins on the banks of a river. The Tongva people, the people of the earth as they were called, accommodated the rising and receding waters for centuries. But as the city grew, in the late 20s, after a particularly bad period of flooding, it was determined by our city fathers that the river had to be tamed. The river had overflowed and destroyed valuable real estate, by then Los Angeles' most valuable commodity. This is the settlement, actually, of Sonora Town, one of the very first settlement of Los Angeles. Note that the doorways are 5 feet above the ground. I grew up alongside the river in a little town with an indigenous name called Pacoima, which became known for its violent conflicts between African American and Latinos. And as a child, I watched as the rivers, the arteries of the land, were turned to concrete. I think I can trace the beginnings of my career as a political landscape painter to growing up alongside of the Los Angeles River and watching its transition. In 1974, the 40-year-long concreting project was complete, making it the largest public works project in America. Its completion gave rise to a new aesthetic recovery division of the Army Corps of Engineers. Though it was short-lived, its purpose was to deal with the effects of the concreted arroyos. Standing at the river's edge, on the first day with the Army Corps of Engineers and dreaming of what it could become, I saw the concreted arroyos as scars in the land. They were eyesores. They left dirt belts alongside of the river and divided communities. The flood control channels, of course, had many other serious consequences to the land. The concreted rivers carried runoff water too swiftly to the ocean, bearing pollution from the city streets, affecting the Santa Monica Bay and depriving the aquifer of water replenishment through normal ground seepage. In a sense, the concreting of the river represented the hardening of the arteries of the land. It created dis-ease in the land. I haven't told this story in the past, but as I am re-excavating the Great Wall and restoring it, I tell it today. What I saw then was this metaphor. The hundreds of miles of concrete conduits were scars in the land. They recalled the scars I had seen on a young man's body in Los Angeles Baca. Fernando, my friend and mentee, had suffered multiple stab wounds in an East Los Angeles gang warfare event. I asked him how he was feeling after the attack. My wounds are healing, he said, but every time I lift my shirt, I see my body as a map of violence. So together, we began to design transformative tattoos in an effort to make ugly marks into something powerful and beautiful. Over the years, Fernando liked to brag that he was my greatest artwork. That day, overlooking the channel, I dreamed of a tattoo on the scar where the river once ran as a metaphor for healing our city's divisions of race and class, and proposed the Great Wall of Los Angeles. I dared not speak aloud then the thought that is generally accepted today. The concreting of the river was an act of violence against the earth, and healing was needed for both the river and the people. A relationship exists between the disappearance of the river and the people. If you can disappear a river, how much easier is it to disappear the stories of the people? For 12 years, 400 young people worked on the recovery of their histories, practicing a connection to each other across racial, class, and gender differences. You see the development of the park in this image. 350-foot sections done in summer passages of time as we work with each a new group of young people. We worked to tattoo the scar where the river once ran there in the San Fernando Valley, with images that would remember our dismembered history. Black, Latino, Asian, Native American, Jewish, Armenian, all working together, making lifelong connections between all of us. And what I see now, But the hindsight was that I was a participant as well as an artist initiator. The vehicle for this was art. The result, the still growing half-mile-long mural. It was apparent to me then, as it is today, that this decision to concrete the Los Angeles River would affect the people of the city for generations to come, and subsequent planning and development decisions and a spiritual discord associated with the land. We painted 2,700 feet, or half-mile of imagery in the river. This is imagery of the Japanese internment, a 350-foot segment, as told to us by a story from Amy Ishii in her book called Camp Notes. We excavated our family stories to recover history left out of history books. Hundreds of artists, scholars, members of the public contributed time and knowledge to their own memories of the making of the Long Wall. This is Chavez Ravine, the division of the oldest Mexican community in Los Angeles by the freeway. Today, the original children of the Great Wall are grown, and they are returning as alumni to work with another generation of Great Wall youth. I'm proud to announce that the Great Wall has been declared a site of public memory worth preservation by the State of California Cultural and Historical Endowment, who is awarded the seed funding of $2.1 million to preserve the historic sections now 34 years old.